I wanted to share with you all how I got to be where I am today and what I went through in my life and how I overcame great trials and how I became a minister and things like that. So I grew up Baptist. I've always been in church. Um, I gave my life to Jesus at a very young age. I wanted to give him my entire life, my future, everything. I wanted to become who he created me to be originally. And but I went through some very difficult years. I went through 23 years of depression. I was sovereignly delivered of that in 2007. And so that was the point where I really wanted to dig in and learn and grow and who become the person I was made to be, why I was even created in the first place. So I, but after I was delivered from depression, I realized how much I was struggling with anxiety and other things. And so I really sought the Lord and I just started crying out in a deeper way. I wasn't satisfied with living an average life. I wasn't satisfied with living with the struggles of anxiety and things like that. I wanted the fullness of Christ in my life. I wanted to overcome. I wanted to be completely delivered from all of my issues. I don't believe that we are made to live with issues for the rest of our lives. I believe we're made to seek God and have Him sanctify us into who He wants us to be. So that began my journey, and I started really crying out to God about 2010, 2011, something like that. I really wanted to see a transformation in my own life. I wanted to be an example to others. I wanted to be, instead of being the person seeking ministry, I wanted to be the one that was able to minister to others and to teach others. And so I had to really cry out to God because I knew it had to be His sovereign supernatural work in my life. But I was hardly taught the supernatural growing up in church, in my Baptist church. There was a lot of things I wasn't taught, and I knew there was something missing. So I did my best to seek the Lord in prayer. I did my best with what I knew how to do. I struggled reading the Bible. It didn't make any sense to me. I had reading issues. I was diagnosed with ADHD and struggled with that my whole life. I failed high school the first time, so I had a lot of issues going on. But the only thing I was taught was the only way I could get close to God was to read the Bible enough and to pray. But they never explained what to do when you can't read very well, when you can't study and you can't understand what you're reading. And so the only thing left I knew to do was to pray, but we weren't even really taught to pray all that much. I mean, as far as the intricacies of how to pray, how to seek God's face in a deeper way, things like that. So all they would say is pray often. And I really struggled with praying also, so I just cried out, going, God, I have nothing left. left. I have nothing left. And someone invited me to their church, and I was seeking God in different churches, and thank the Lord. I'll have to share another time about the backstory on that, but I went to a charismatic church, and in the middle of the sermon, in the middle of the pastor's preaching, sovereignly the Holy Spirit came upon me and radically changed my life in a moment. This was July of 2013. And I was radically and forever changed at that moment. In the middle of a sermon, the Lord gave me a vision. He spoke to me in that moment. He came on me with such power. And after that encounter, I was filled with the most radical love, joy, and peace. That I never knew was possible. I thought we had to wait to get to heaven to experience His presence and to experience His love, joy, and peace. But He radically flooded me with His presence. For a straight year, in fact. His presence was so overwhelming. It was so life-changing that I will spend the rest of my life sharing with people that He is so real. He's not just far away in heaven, but He comes to us. And He wants to radically change us into the likeness of Jesus. And this is His plan, to change the world. And so, from that moment on, in the summer of 2013, it's just gotten better and better and better. And now I encounter Him on a daily basis. He floods me with His presence. He floods me with His supernatural power. He overwhelms me. He overtakes me. I experience the miraculous every single day. He's overwhelmingly good. He overwhelms me with His love. So I'll be sharing a lot more in the future of what the Lord has done in my life, how He's transformed me, and how you can experience Him like I experience Him. Jesus is glorious. I experience Him every single day. And He wants to touch you if you'll let Him. He needs your permission. So bless you. And thank you for listening.